So you want to add more properties to your portfolio, but this housing bubble has prices spiked. Like this home that tried listing at $2 million and has done 2 price cuts down to $1.55 million. And in reality, it's really closer to $1 million valuation. Zillow is littered with homes like this, asking for hundreds of thousands or millions above value. Well, like my 3rd grade teacher, Mr. Ricketts, taught me, there's always 2 sides to the coin. When things look bad, there's often an opportunity bound to happen on the other side. And in our case, housing bubbles can be great for patient investors and entrepreneurs. Now, I combed data, studied the biggest markets, and found 20 areas with the biggest housing bubbles, meaning these markets have the biggest potential when those bubbles pop. Today, we're answering the questions, which housing markets are in for the biggest drop, and where can we swoop in and find the best deals to make the most money? We clearly have a problem with high prices, and inflation is still above 8%.
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month was just an inch.
But I want to put this problem into perspective and find which markets will have the biggest price drops. So I compared median household income to median housing prices of each of the major markets, and this is what I got. Pause the video here if you want to take a closer look. But what's interesting is looking at the ratio between the income to price itself. So the past 2 years, we've seen housing prices going completely crazy across the nation. This happened because the US money printing machine was running at full speed. And as a nation, we set a record on how much new money flooded the market in less than 2 years. We start with a total of $4 trillion in the market in 2020. Today, we're sitting at over $20 trillion. Like, we smashed all previous records. Now, back in 2008, the Great Recession, we had a fundamental collapse of our banking and real estate industries. The year before that collapse, the median household income versus the median home price was a ratio of 3.8x. And then our system crashed. Fast forward to today, and the current median US ratio is over 6x, which is high, but much better than China's ratio of 20x. That means a Chinese household makes a median of $4,300 US dollars a year with a house price of $86,000. In major cities like Beijing and Shenzhen, that ratio is as high as 45x, which is why China is in the midst of a major real estate and financial crash right now. Now, the ideal median income to median house price ratio is between 2 to 3x. At this ratio, homeowners can comfortably afford homes and other cost of living. Now, a high ratio doesn't mean an imminent crash, like how in 2007 the US was just under 4x and it took China 20x for their crash to come. As that ratio grows, it's like a car going faster and faster until the smallest bump in the road can send it flying off track. Now, those small bumps can be rising interest rates, supply chain issues, inflation, or in our case, everything.
And if you want to learn how to take advantage of this next crash and use land, properties, and unique rentals to replace your income, you should check out the Land Hacker community and program that I've built filled with people who are doing just that. You can check out my website, kaiandrew.com, and set up a free call with me or somebody on my team to see how we can help you get started. Link just down below.
So which markets are more likely to have a hard crash? Let's pull the rankings back up and focus on the top 20. These are the ones that I identify as high because they're above a 7 times income to price ratio, higher than the current median across the entire United States of 6x. Now, take a look at how much extra you need to make to comfortably afford a home in each of these cities. And now we see some staggering ratio income gaps. Many of these areas are above a 10x ratio, meaning the median household for these areas would have to generate an extra $80,000 to $350,000 each year to afford a home.
Now, coincidentally, while I was working on this video, my dad, who lives in San Jose, sent this text message to the family. In it, it shows an older real estate flyer from just a couple months ago, June 2022, trying to get people to sell their homes, and it shows several homes that have been sold well above their asking price. My dad then goes and continues to say that the properties in San Jose have already gone down by 15 to 20% in the last 3 months. So this bubble popping, contracting, whatever you want to call it, crashing, and And we see it happening right now.
Now, it's not only large cities that are affected. Experience shows that the surrounding areas have also been seeing very large bubbles forming. And those are the areas that I'm interested in. 3 areas that I know well are Seattle, Portland, and the Austin markets. And what has happened to prices in these cities have spilled over to the outer areas, such as these much smaller markets around Austin. And when bubbles form, it works both ways. So all these outer areas will feel a contraction of the market the same way that they benefited from the expansion from the past 2 years. This is where the opportunity is for the savvy and patient investor. So kick back with some popcorn and keep an eye on these markets because they look like they have a long ways to fall. Or maybe better yet, start digging up deals in these bottom markets that seem pretty appealing with good ratios. And if you want to take real estate investing to the next level by creating multiple income streams from one property, and I'm not talking about apartment buildings, you gotta watch this next video here and see how this couple got 56 acres permitted that can generate up to $50,000 a month from one property.